I'm very excited today. I have a very distinguished guest. I've got the president and CEO of GE Military Defense Systems, Amy Gowder. Welcome, Amy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Doug, for having me.
And a little bit about Amy and myself, a little bit of history she probably doesn't know about. But I started my career at General Electric Company. And I am a General Electric retiree. I worked for them for 14 years. And I started off on the GE Management Training Program under a gentleman called Jack Welch. So I'm kind of an old dude. But anyway, it really gave me my basis for all the lean initiatives that I've done over the years. But we want to hear more about yours. So I was looking over at your bio, and I really got pretty excited. And I'm going to talk about a recent award you just got today. But, you know, I noticed here that you were recognized as one of the top 40 women under 40. Amazing. And you were also in the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame in 2015. So tell me a little bit about that, and tell me about what you did here in San Antonio.
Yeah, so Doug, San Antonio is a very special place for me. And I'm honored to be in the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame. And then my award today, the Impact Award with D. Howard Foundation, also a great honor for me. San Antonio was very special. So the time I was here, I ran Kelly Aviation Center, which was an engine MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul. And we were going through a lot of transformation. We were losing some of the military work, and we were trying to get into commercial. And it was a very big change for the team. So it was a very impactful period of my career when I was here in San Antonio.
And that's when I first got to meet you. Mm-hmm. You know, we're on a number of nonprofit boards together, and really got to see really what you were doing over here. And at the same time, I was trying to become a supplier on the F-35 program in Fort Worth. And you helped me with some of the great connections over there. And it's been a great career. Today, we've got over 900 parts on the F-35, and you helped me get that thing started at M2 Global Technology here in San Antonio. So really, how did you get involved with lean and lean initiatives? You're getting to be quite an expert.
Yeah. So, so I spent a good chunk of my career with Lockheed Martin. It was 15 years. And they certainly embrace lean really on the factory floor mostly. And they had Shingijutsu back in the early days of F-35 come out and help lay out some of the line. But they really embrace the operator mentality, and which was great. But when I came to San Antonio, I had the opportunity because I kind of owned that whole site. I owned the whole business. So I could kind of do what I wanted in terms of the operating system. So that was really, Doug, I think then that I saw how I could really use the power of lean, not just on the factory floor, but really to transform the business. And I needed it because of the transformation Kelly was going through from only military to military and commercial. I needed the engagement of the operators. I needed them to move fast. I needed them to take out waste in the system. And so it was that kind of business need and the fact that I could use it not just on the factory, use lean not just on the factory floor, but on the whole system is really where I feel like I got to own the whole system and see the power of it.
And it was great because I helped set up a conference here for the Association of Manufacturing Excellence, and Kelly Aviation was one of the tours, and that was the highest rated tour for that conference, and they just were wow. And I said to them, you should have seen it at the beginning. This is like night and day. Mm-hmm. So from Kelly, you moved on to Fort Worth, vice president in charge of sustainment and
supply chain.
And supply chain for the F-35 program. Mm-hmm.
So that's where, Doug, I think our experience of working together, and I saw what you were doing down here in M2 Global, and you wanted to get more parts on the F-35. And I said, this is what we need in our supply chain. So in that role, I really partnered with people like you, as well as big companies, to really get zero defect mentality, get quality into the system, and then use lean to continue to streamline so that we can have the parts on time. And then, of course, affordability. So I think you were one of our supplier winners when I got to be in the supply chain
You
role.
sure did. You and Alex Exer.
Yes.
And by the way, Alex and I worked together at Harris, so it's a small world over time.
Yes.
But we got pretty excited about it. We were recognized out of 1,400 suppliers, one of the top 25. And you created with Alex this diamond pyramid. And by the way, we're up there today and back again. And basically what we had is 100% quality, 100% on time. And that year we shipped 54,000 pieces.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a wow thing. And you came down and presented the award, and it's still hanging on the wall in M2 Global today. So it was really something special for my employees. So I want to thank you so much.
Yeah. And it's employees that matter in lean.
It really is. And that's really the secret sauce from Toyota. It's engagement and respect for your employees, the people in your community and your supplier base and your customer base. And that's something I learned between you and Mark over the years, your husband, and it's been a real plus in my journey over time. So then you went to Aerojet. Oh, wow. And you were what, the chief operating officer?
That's right. So I, again, maybe went back to owning all the functions for a company, and that was great. But boy, did they needed a lean operating system. They really needed standard work to emphasize safety because of the work they do. Whether it's liquid rocket motors for space or solid rocket motors for advanced weapons. And so it's a dangerous environment and dangerous products they have to work with. And so safety was really the first and foremost of where we applied lean to make sure we had a safe environment. And then, of course, quality, delivery, and cost.
And a matter of fact, based on some of the principles I've implemented in M2 Global, we just turned 14 years without a lost time accident. So
wow.
This lean stuff really works. It's great. And from Aerojet, now you're a General Electric company. Tell me about that.
Well, it's a special time to be in GE Aerospace. So we have a great leader, as you know. Our CEO, Larry Culp, is a true believer in lean. And
sure is.
Used lean throughout his whole career. And we, safety, quality, delivery, costs, that's like our top priority. And that's where we started our lean journey with Larry. And what's so amazing is we're truly using it, again, as an operating system to run the business. It's how we lead. It's how we run the business. It's not just a set of tools. And it is through the whole company. So again, back to my San Antonio days, we use lean throughout the whole business, not just on the factory floor.
Well, I'm sure you're going to make a major impact on that. And they basically went through a restructuring and broke everything off into separate business units right now. So you really got a chance to really make a mark at General Electric Company. Yeah,
we're excited and humbled at the opportunity.
I've got 3 questions I want to ask you. Can you share a story in your past that had really profound impact on you and your leadership style?
Yeah, so I'm going to come back here to San Antonio and Kelly Aviation and that transformation I talked about. So, it was a very uncertain time for the employees. And again, we had to really improve the delivery and get the cost out so that we could be competitive in commercial. It was, somewhat of an existential life or death kind of scenario. And what I found, what really impacted my style is the employees needed to hear from me as the president and my whole leadership team really where we were in the journey, what we needed to achieve, and why. And we only did that through the lean principles of showing them the key KPIs that are key performance improvement characteristics or metrics we were trying to hit. Then daily management. So one thing I'm very passionate about, Doug, because if you don't do daily management with the employees, then the whole thing kind of falls apart.
It sure does.
And so what was so impactful was I saw when my supervisors and frontline leaders changed how they worked daily and how they engaged with the employees and told them what a good day looks like and listened, like truly listened to the employees of what the barrier was, and then actually went and tried to fix and get the barriers out of the way, then the employees started to raise more issues. They started to actually see how we were going to make this change. They saw their role in impacting the metrics, and they worked better as a team. So I think that impactful from the leadership during times of uncertainty, communicating more and very clearly where we're going, what we're going to do, and why. But then the engagement daily from the supervisors and even top leadership was really made the difference.
You know, it's amazing because when I did the tour over there, that was a takeaway. I always go in and I try to take 3 things away from a tour, and that was one of them. And I really credit that today, that the fact that we've got 14 years with a lost time accident. I learned it there. It was great. I've got another question for you.
Sure.
How do you inspire and motivate your team, and especially during challenging times? And right now, that's basically what we're dealing with.
That's right. So, so building on those lessons I learned in San Antonio, right now the supply chain is the most constrained it's ever been. We've had obviously loss of expertise with the labor. We've big constraints in raw material. It's a really challenging time right now, and at least especially in the defense world, but also in commercial. Customers need our products more than ever, whether it's spare parts for readiness on a F-18 or if it's even the flying public, those spare engines for airline. It's really important that we motivate the team to deal with our suppliers and to internally take waste out of the system so that when we do get the parts, we can process them quickly and with high quality. And so it's really the message I carry to the team is similar to what I did in San Antonio, is keeping them focused on what we need to do to win the week, what we need to do to win the day, what could get in our way, and then helping them work through it. And as you see the daily management taking root, as you see the cross-functional collaboration, they're starting to see how that can win the day or win the week. And then you start to get the momentum. So it's through data, it's through daily communication and daily management, and it's through emphasizing cross-functional collaboration and problem solving. So that's what's helping the team stay focused even when it's tough right now.
I'll be really excited to see the results a year from now, because I know you've only been there a short time, but we're already seeing the dial move on the dashboard, so that's great. That is really super. One last question for you. And this is really kind of dealing with Gen Z. Looking forward, what do you think your greatest challenge is with the next generation, and what advice could you give them?
Yeah, so I think I'll say 2 things, Doug. One, they need to believe in the power of daily management. So I see sometimes the next generation thinks, oh, I don't have to engage my employees every day. They know what to do. Well, yes, those on the front line are the experts. They know where to add value, but they still need coaching and support from their leadership, and they need it on a regular daily basis. So I think they really need to embrace the power of daily. The second thing I would say is the generations have changed and people want their voices heard. They don't want to just have direction. And so really understanding how to go to Gemba in the right way to truly listen and engage the employees is the other thing that I think is really going to be important to make them successful, because the needs of the employee are different.
Great. Great advice. Here again, I want to thank you so much for coming here today, Amy. This is great. And by the way, we just came back from an award ceremony at the Boeing Center here in San Antonio for the Aviation Hall of Fame from the D. Howard Foundation, and Amy was one of the recipients. Well-deserved, Amy. Thank you so much for coming. And here again, thank you for spending time with the San Antonio Manufacturing Podcast, which we call Manufacturing Matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug, for having me, and thank you for your partnership.
Thank you.